It's visible.
Ah,
Yeah, it's
okay,
visible.
okay, great. Okay, so now in this talk, we are going to learn about how to get your first bounty. So I guess anyone like who is trying to get into this field, they are have some small, like, you can say, a goal to get first Hall of Fame, then go for some more goals like bounty. At last, we go for bounty only. But going for a bounty is very hard for anyone. Like if you are a, you can say, a beginner in this field, it's very hard because already there are some pros in this field. Already they are hunting for around 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 8 years, and they are very expert in this field, so they can get bugs easily. But as a beginner, you also have a chance. And yes, you can also try to get bounty. So like my main approach is like to explain you how you can try, learn, and make your own approaches to get your first bounty. And I hope that after this like talk, if it's like you can go and hunt on the various platforms like HackerOne, Bugcrowd, Integrity, and try to get bounties from it. So now let's start with the stage zero. So if I talk about stage zero, I'm taking like we are trying to learn things, how to make a very good approach to get your first bounty. So in the stage zero, you need to understand one thing. Always stick to one program. Like it's I will be just we can say just an example. When I started with this bug bounty thing, the first mistake which I used to do is I used to jump on multiple, you can say, platforms also and programs also. But that was a very wrong approach which I did. So always try to stick to one platform first and then to one program. If you see a let's say any program which is having more assets, then try to stick there, because at the end of the day, if you are like hunting on it daily, you may understand the program, like you can say how it's flow, the application mapping part, and then you can try to get more and more from it. So always stick to one program. Now then comes your prepare your own checklist. So in the, like, if you go on the internet and search for good checklist for API, web, Android, iOS, you will get many. But see, I think many beginners are like, it means they are just searching the list. They are trying to do everything which is given on the checklist. No, if I say prepare your own checklist, it means for a particular target, you need to prepare a checklist, and in that in that target, what kind of things you can check will be on your checklist, the test cases which you can perform. Because if you are trying to copy someone's list, like they have made some list for all the functionalities, then you, it's not like you're also trying to do the same thing. But let's say your XYZ site is not having a auth functionality, so you are just searching like, okay, it has auth, but my program is not having any auth functionality, so now I will change my program. So that's the problem which everyone is facing at a, like you can say, if you are a very new to this field. So prepare your own checklist according to the functionality which is present on the website. Now, after that, you need to also make your own pen testing methodology. I know we all like go and search on internet how to approach a target, how to like make my own pen testing methodology, or how to copy someone. Like we are, of course, in my beginning phase, I also used to copy how, like, let's say I'm seeing anyone in the tweet or on LinkedIn post, they are making some approaches and all. I try to copy it, but at the end of the day, my own methodology will only give me the way to get my first bounty. So always learn from others, try to like learn from every tweets from the pros, a hacker, and then try to use it and make your own methodology, which is your, you can say, the best thing which you can do to get your first bounty. So now, first thing you need to start learning, of course. So for the learning part, you can just try the free labs from the these three. So Hack the Box is free. If you are like trying to learn from the active machine, it's free, of course. You can go and learn from Hack the Box. Same goes for Portugal Academy. But if you go for the PentesterLab, it's a paid, of course. But yes, it's a very, like you can say, the cost is not that much high, so you can afford. So these three things will help you to move ahead with all your learnings, which you need to start the bug bounty. So After learning from these things, you can start. But now see, in every like talk we see like how to hunt for SQL injection, how to hunt for CSRF, LFI, RFI, RC. We are seeing everything like that. So I think you know about it, and I think you are doing that thing. But I think the more more time you need to try to focus on about your target. Let's say you're hunting on any bank or any XYZ site, you need to try to learn about your own you can say like their business model, like how many TLDs, like top level domains. Now if I say the TLDs finding, it means you are trying to increase your attack surface of the target, and that will help you to get more. Let's say if anyone missed that thing, let's say you have got 5 TLDs and I have got 8 TLDs, so that the 3 TLDs are extra TLDs which is in my attack surface list. So I can try to find more bugs in compared to you. So always try to get more TLDs from your target. Then comes the technology enumeration part. Now this is my favorite nowadays, because I think if you are following me on LinkedIn or on my Twitter, you are seeing I am just posting things like finding CVs via help of Sodan or Sensis, you can say. So of course, technology enumeration is a game changer nowadays, and many you can say hunters miss this as a beginner, because we are focused on finding RC, SQL injection, and these things. But this can be also a game changer. Okay. Now the third thing is subdomain enumeration. Now after getting the TLD, we need to enumerate more and more to get the get more assets from that particular TLD. And that is also you can say game changer. Why? Because if you have more, then of course the chances of getting a very valid bug. See, bug we will get, but the main thing I think for everyone is that we don't want duplicate bug. So try to find more and more subdomains so that you can hunt more on that and get a bounty. Okay. So I think in this more if you want to focus, make a good word list. Try to brute force it. Like everyone is using the tool, basic tool, MRs or asset find and all. But nowadays we don't focus on brute forcing part. But you need to brute force. Sometimes with a proper word list, you can get a very good endpoint which no one has tested. Or let's say if you are seeing a 4xx error on that particular subdomain, try to bypass it, because of course if it's 4xss, then many of the bug bounty hunter have not touched it, maybe because they have thought okay it's 4xs error like it's 404 403 and all, so let's go ahead. But you can try to bypass it and try to access it. If you are able to access it, then you are the only one who has that particular access, and you can find good bugs from it. Then come the content discovery part. So this is like it's very easy. You can get the JS endpoints, you can get the APIs, you can get many things from it. And of course, it's very easy to find, and it will surely give you a bounty. Because see, if you are getting a API key, yeah, let's say any password, or let's say DB name, username, and password. So these are things which won't get uh, duplicate, because of course, if a company's DB name is or DB password has been leaked, they will try to fix it as soon as possible. So if you get this, then of course it's a bounty, sure for bounty for it. But the thing is, we don't go for it. Like we think, okay, this fuzzing thing is boring. No, it's not boring. If you have a proper word list, you know how to approach it, you know the endpoint, how the application is behaving and all, then you can easily try to make a good word list and try to fuzz it and get a very good you can say findings which can be able to give you a bounty from it. Now the last part is application mapping. Now I think in the first page only I told mapping part. So basically application mapping is all about to understand the application flow. Let's say if I am trying to make an account, then what is the login flow, account creation flow, if it has a contact us page, if it is having some third party integration like OAuth, or let's say it is having some chat bot. We'll see it later in the slide. So in this, what it will be helping you is like you will know what you need to do. So let's say it's a contact us page, you know I can try the store access maybe here, or let's say it's just a form page only. So you know, so after that you can try to learn things and then try to use it in your like approach. You can add it in your pen testing approach and then try to get a bug from it. So always focus on learning more about your target and then only start your testing part. Now, I think in the tweet also last week I saw there were some like tweets like, okay, don't like if you are trying to get P4 low hanging fruit, then it's not a hacking. But see, if you are trying on Bugcrowd, I think Bugcrowd has a P4 class where we get easy bugs from it. And trust me, as a beginner, I also used to report these things. Nowadays, I don't report maybe, but yes, at the beginning, I was also reporting these things, and these are very easy wins for you. What you need to like try to understand it, if it's a new program, then only report these things, because mainly these things are like in an old program it may not be missed. Because see, if I am also pen testing a program, of course I won't miss these things, I will check this thing for sure. So of course these will go duplicate. But if it's a very new program, of a very fresh program, just one day it has been launched, so then you can try to get a P4 with this low hanging like list which I have made. It's on the Buckler VRT list also. So you can try to get all the P4s, P3 from it, and then try to like find and report it on the bug crowd. If you are reporting same thing on HackerOne, it may not be accepted. It may not be accepted on some different platform. So every platform has some low, high, medium classes and all. So you need to understand about it and then only report it. But just you can start with a P4, and it will give you a like you can say a push like okay to learn more and more and then apply it. But yes, maybe this P4 will go in duplicate, of course, because yes, because everyone is testing on it. But if you guess, like if just by luck you are having some new program, then try to hit these like these bugs, and it will be a very easy $100 for you. So I think it's like start with low hanging fruits only, then go for the you can say big fruit. If you're trying to get a big fruit only at start, then it won't be like it will be like you are just draining yourself. Okay, so now comes the main part which I think every beginner is like you can say missing. So Sodan and senses. Okay, in my case I use only Sodan. So if you I say, then I think if you use, if you know how to use Sodan, then you can easily get dollars from it. Because I think in my case I guess there are you can say many vulnerable components servers which are present in Sodan. You can search by dorking. You can go on Google if you are very good art of searching. Then you can find. And I think in my post also I have been sharing this the dork and all. So after getting a target, you need to enumerate the technology, of course. So we will be seeing that also later. So now I just posted these two reports of Sudan. So if you see the, I think it's not that big, but see the third one is the Jenkins, and it's very old. Like nowadays we don't use Jenkins because of the so many flaws and all. But many companies are now also like having this Jenkins platform, and yes, they are old. So in Sudan it was like around like more than 5,000 components of Jenkins. So just imagine if you found any one also and it has a CV which is marked as high. So you will be getting a easy P1, of course, and then you can go in for a bounty. Okay, and that's a very good thing. Like in just 5 minutes, you're getting a bounty from this tool, Census or Sodan. Same goes for a very like old one is like Microsoft Exchange. So it has 24,000 assets in the search of Sodan via dorking. So 24,000. Maybe there's maybe some honeypots, there may be some false positive. Sometimes you won't get the company name also, but in most of the cases we get it. So you can understand the art of dorking in Sodan and try to find the proper assets which is pointing to your company only, and then you can get a very easy dollar from it. So that was the thing which you need not to ignore it and try to understand the power of Sodan or senses in bug bounty. Now, I was talking about this only. So technology in relation to easy P1s. Now, how it works. So let's say I am just testing on a target, and that like in that target, I see there is some old instance, let's say components present. It can be Jira, it can be WordPress, vulnerability, it can be anything. Okay. So with the extension name Weaponizer, I can analyze my target. Now after I'm analyzing, I'm trying to locate any vulnerable tech which is used by my company, okay, or by the target company. So that will help me to understand, okay, maybe these vulnerability can be exploited. I will try to find the CVs from it. And in my case, I always go for that. So I try to find the CVs. And if that particular version is having some CVs assigned, then I try to find the exploit first. I don't go for just, I found the CV, I will start search on census or no. First, I will try to find the exploit. It is exploitable or not. Because see, if you find also and you can't exploit, then the bug bounty like platform won't accept it. So first, after getting the CVS assigned, try to find the exploit about it. Now after finding the exploit about it, I will try to use the Sodan dorking or census dorking to get the endpoint. Because like if you just report like, okay, this company is having this particular version of the software which is having the CV assigned, it won't help. You need to give them a proper endpoint and the proof of concept also. So in that case, you need to understand like, okay, we are storing something, we can get the endpoint. So after getting the endpoint, you can analyze it and try to exploit it. And after exploiting, it's a P1, of course, if it's a very high CV. So a P1, P2, we can say a very easy P1, P2. So that was I think which we can start using now. And of course, if everyone is like trying to do this, then they can get easy bounty, not in one day, but after having some experience in this part, then and understanding how the census and Sodan are working the search engine, then you can easily get a bounty from it. Now comes the I think it's more easy to get bounty from Waybacks maybe in compared to Sodan or census, because in Sodan census there are some honeypots also, there are some false positive also. Same goes for this Wayback also. But Waybacks are like, you can say, they have the mines, you can say it's a coal mine. And I think that's why I've given the background black also. So coal mine in which you can find diamonds. So if I'm saying this coal mine, it means it has lot of URLs, the chunks of URLs. It is garbage sometimes, but sometimes you can get a diamond from it. How? Let's say you get any old S3 bucket URL which is not been like handled by the company nowadays, but it has some data, PI data leakage, or you get some endpoint. Let's say they have two API endpoint. One is version 1, version 2, and the version 1 they have not been like upgrading, but they forgot to like just make that API down. So it API is also running, but is not actively used in the backend server, but it has the data. So if you found that API endpoint, then of course it can leads you to a PI data. Okay, and it can lead to many other things also. So this Wayback result will give you a very new, like you can say, a door to get your first bounty. You can use Wayback URLs, Gao, Katana. There are many crawlers present in the web. Try to understand how this works, how you can use certain commands to grab things from it. So basically, in my case, I try to find some URLs which is like not updated by the company. Of course, there are some time URL like ID equal to 1, and if I am trying to get it for 2, 3, 4, I'm getting all the data of that particular users. Or if I get any API path which can help me to get the PI data, and of course PI data is P1 for any company, or I can get some JS endpoint which can lead me to a API key or any juicy information which can lead to some more vulnerabilities. So it's all about how you can explore things. So let's say if I'm just using a GAO tool, then I will try to grab the all the JS endpoint, and then I will use that for like you can say a JS scan tool any I can get from the internet, and then I will scan every tool like every endpoint, and then I will try to find more and more from it. Same goes for if I get a API endpoint, I will try to get the PI data. PI data part is a P1 of course, so it's a very easy bounty. So you can just go on and search on like internet all the Wayback URLs for your company where you are hunting, and try to get some very juicy endpoint to enumerate and to find bugs on it. Okay. Now comes the big question, and this like I have seen in the talk of Jason Headaches, and I think from my beginning I am following him. So he used to say like you need to ask these things to you. Okay, he has told many things, but these four mainly I also ask if I'm testing on target. So the first thing is, does the site have a threat model? If I say threat model, it means business threat model. So every company has their own threat model, and it is like you can't tell them about the flaw, like okay, this is a vulnerability, you need to accept it. No, it's not, like we can't go through this like this. So you need to understand a company, how that company business is running. So let's say for a e-commerce, just example, e-commerce, if the bills, the invoices get leaks, if the PR data get leaked, then of course it is a, you can say, P1 for them, P0 for them. Same way, if you're on a dating site and your account takeover has been happening, then of course it's a P0 for them, because account takeover, then it will leak all the chats and all. So you need to understand the business threat model. So in the bucket, I think there's a column at down is, and they have named it as focus area. It means they want to focus on these vulnerability only. So if you found that vulnerability, then only you can report it. So always try to understand the threat model. Don't say, hey, okay, this is a bug, let's say a P4 vulnerability only, which I was talking earlier in the slides. So if the P4 vulnerability is P4 for someone else, it may be P5 for some other company. So you can't just go on LinkedIn or Twitter and say like okay, this is the vulnerability I reported and I got a bounty, but in the next company not. It may be. So understand the threat model, the business about the company, then only try to test and report the things on it. Now that the main thing is, has there been past research and like you can say, let's say any company is doing a having some internal team, AppSec team, so they must be pen testing. Or if that company is old, then they must have the bug bounty program. So you can try to get things like, okay, if you're maybe I think in bug crowd, in not in Buckroad, I guess, but in private platforms like CNAC, we have a list of all the flaws which are reported in that program. So we can just see it, and then we try to not report these things, so that the chance of getting duplicate is zero in CNAC. So I think in the Buckroad also we have in, like I've seen in few you can say program, they have mentioned like, okay, these are these vulnerability class are reported, but I'm not sure about the bug cloud one. Now, how does the app handles common vulnerability classes? So of course, for as I told, every if you say like you are testing on a target, so for every company the P1 is not same. Okay, so you need to also understand the handling part, and plus how, if you're just putting injecting a query, then how the app is handling things. Okay, it also depend upon that. So you need to understand this. And the last thing is, where does the app store data? So in the, like you can say, let's say any app is storing, who is like turning on the mic, please turning it off. Okay, so where does the app store data? So maybe it can be on the cloud S3 bucket, it can be on Azure, um, also it can be on any classes of that. So you need to understand like, okay, from like where is the app storing the data, so I can try to get the PI data leakage from it. So this is a, I think you can say, a approach which you can add in your pen testing methodology, and you can use it for your daily testing and all. Now comes the application mapping part. So as I was telling, this is, you can say, like it's the most important thing which every you can say expert pen tester do, and that is the reason why the expert, or you can say the experienced guy, get bug easily in compared to a beginner, because we like we are just focusing on mapping the target and then finding the bug. So we have a clear, you can say, vision how to approach to a target, but as a beginner we don't have. So always try to focus on mapping part, understand the account creation is happening and how it is happening. If there is some checks, like like let's say if I'm trying to turn on the 2FA, then we need a password on it. If you're turn it off the 2FA, we need a password for it. If it is not, then I can try to do some like find something on the internet regarding 2FA and try to find the misconfiguration of the 2FA because of that. So it can be anything. Okay, so just for example, I gave that. So from the pre-account takeover to the account takeover, everything can be happen if you understand the login flow, the account creation flow. Then comes the upload function. So of course you need to understand how the upload function is working, and of course after uploading, how the data, like from where the data is going to where. Because if you don't know the destination part also, then how, like if you're trying to exploit this upload functionality, how you will do that. So you need to understand that. Then the pass, you will pass in parameters. So if I am passing something, like I am just intercepting a request in buffer, I'm trying to move it to the repeater tab and trying to analyze it. So I need to understand the parameters, the token which are passed, and how the backend application is understanding it. Okay, that's a very important thing which you need to understand. So it's not like, okay, you're just capturing the request and doing a false, like you can say, scanning in your mind, okay, this is this, this is this. No, it is not like that. You need to understand that token is passed in it. If that, if this token can be, like you can say, a token of JWT token, it can be exploited by that. If it is a let's say a normal ID UID parameter, then you can try to go for IDOR. So it goes like that only. Then comes the errors. So we as a, like you can say, pen tester, we generally don't see the errors part, but yes, error part is also very important, because in error sometimes they give you a hint, or they give you like, okay, you are close to the like finding, but you need to enumerate more and more. Or let's say you get a, let's say I'm trying to test a web page, and I'm getting an error of Apache, and the particular version which is used on that particular application. So I will try to go and find the CVs about it, and then I will try to exploit the CV. So sometimes errors also help you. Then come the chatbots and the third party integration. So in chatbot, I have like I haven't found anything till now in my like you can say whole pen testing career, but I have seen the blogs in chatbot we are getting easy bugs. So of course you can try to test the chatbot also. And mainly chatbots are like third party tool used by any company, of course. So maybe they won't give a bounty, but yes, sometimes the company has their own chatbot, so it can give you a bounty. So it's totally upon your luck if that chatbot is owned by the company or not. Then comes the third party integration. So of course, for everything, a company can't have their in-house team to make things, develop things for them. So they will be having some third party vendors or integration which they have done. So you need to analyze it and try to exploit it also. In background, in many other program, they have like mentioned it like all the third party integration are in out of scope. But in some programs, in I think they are like in scope things also there, like you can test on third party integration and get a bounty from it. So it's like also very like if you have mapped the things out, you know, so in less time you can get more and more bugs on a particular target. Now, burp extension. So as like you all know, burp suit is a key tool, and everyone knows how to use it. But there are some burp extension also. I can't list everyone, like every name here, but I have listed few which you can use now only after this talk and try to get bugs, and it will speed up your findings, of course. So let's start from the last only. So the last one is the backslash power scanner. So basically, you can install this extension and try to like run on your like any endpoint, any target which you are getting, to get like some unknown classes of injection vulnerabilities. It's mainly focused on injection, like injection like SQL injection or any type of injection. Then comes the gap. So gap will help you to find some endpoints and parameter which can leads to a very good vulnerability. So you can use this extension also. It can be like it is same like there are some tool on GitHub name as Arjun. So Arjun also do the same thing. Then comes the pawn back slash. I think the name is Wayback machine only. So it will give you all the URL from that particular like let's say xyz.com. So all the Wayback URL, it will be transferred into your sitemap where you can start testing one by one manually. So it will automate few things for you. Then comes the authorize. So of course it's a very good tool if you are trying to do IDOR. then you can go for this tool or authorize extension. It will just semi automate things for you, not a if you are using this, then sure shot will get, I don't know, but it will do some help to you and will speed up your findings, of course. And the last one which I have mentioned in this slide is the uploader. So basically, for any insecure upload functionality, you can try this extension and to get a very good LFI from it. Mainly, if you are trying to get things from the upload functionality. So that was it. Now, till now, we were only trying to learn the things like from Recon to P1, but then also you need to learn some classes of vulnerabilities to get into the bug bounty. And also, if you are trying to get a job, then you need to understand things from the OS top 10 and all. So I guess you can start with 2FA. 2FA bypasses, I think in the last week we have seen it on this channel only. So I think you can learn from it and then you can try, and 2FA thing is not that hard. If you understand the application flow, how it's behaving with 200 OK and 400 or 500 and all, then you can understand it and you can try to get a 2FA misconfiguration easily. Same goes for OAuth misconfiguration also. There are so many blogs, labs are present for it, and it's very easy for you to get a OAuth misconfiguration. So you can also learn things from it, like from the blogs, and then start the OAuth misconfiguration on testing on your particular target which you have chose. Then comes the access control issues. So why I mentioned these three on this list, like if you want to get a bounty, focus on this, because see these three things needs the, you can say, the mapping, of course, the application mapping plus the understanding of the application. If you understand the application, then only you can get this vulnerability. So it will take time. You need to invest your time on a particular application, understand everything, then only you can get it. So if you are making use of it and understanding the flow, then maybe someone has not invested that much time or may have not understand the vulnerability. So you can get ahead of it and try to get a very good you can say bug from it. Then comes the business logic error. So of course, for business logic error, it's not that easy, but it's not that tough also. Maybe I think as a beginner, you all think it's very hard to get business logic, but the thing is you don't know the thing, understand the application. So of course, how much you are understanding the application, then let's say if a company is having some paid membership and a free membership, so I need to first understand, like, okay, in free membership we are getting these three four things, in the premium membership I'm getting eight things. So if a free member can get a paid member thing without paying anything, then it's a bug. But for this, you need to first understand the application. So don't blindly start going and testing on any like you can say endpoint and try to get bug. No, understand the things. And of course, if you finding business flaws, business like you are making a company understand, like, okay, this endpoint is having a proper business logic error, then they will accept it, because see they won't want, like, they don't want any, like, anyone having a free membership and trying to use free premium membership. So it's a loss for them, so they will fix it also, and they will appreciate your effort by giving a bounty. Then comes the, I think, the fifth part which I was telling from the first slide only, vulnerable outdated components. So of course, if you are finding you are doing the finding some technology which is being used by company which is outdated, then try to find the CVs of it and then try to exploit it. So it can also give you a very easy bug, and can also give you a bounty from it. And the last is the information disclosure. It means you need to find the sensitive exposures, maybe on Google, on GitHub, or any other, let's say, endpoint. And of course that endpoint can be fixed easily. So of course, if you're getting that thing, if you're getting that endpoint, maybe it is not like you can say, like let's say you're getting a PR data, Okay, so it is a bound like it's a bug for every company. Like PI data is leaked, so they will fix it only. So chances of getting duplicate in this classes of vulnerability is very low. So always try to focus on these as a beginner. Then only you can get a very first bounty out of it. Now I will be wrapping up things. Okay, and in this I will first say always hunt on in scope targets only. So if I'm saying in scope target, it means like there's two classes in any platform: out of scope and in scope. So scope means like the company wants you to test on these endpoints, these application only, not endpoint, these application or these assets only. So don't go beyond it. If you're testing a assets which is in out of scope area and you're trying to get a bounty, they won't pay you. Okay, maybe they have hosted you can say WordPress page on, and that page is only used for blogging, and no paid data is being given, so they may not accept it. It can be. So always try to hunt on the scoping only to get more and more like good findings, and findings can only give you a your first bounty. The main thing after this is don't do payload spray. So I have seen like many like you can say lead or you can say pro hackers are posting their exploit or let's say their payload if they have found any WAF bypasses for accesses on Akaime or Cloudflare. They are posting it, and we as a beginner we just copy it and try to use that on every single endpoint if you are seeing our access has been hit or not. So that is not a way. You need to understand the backend, which backend language is being used and what it is accepting. So you can't just go and blindly start like payload spraying on every endpoint through intruder and then hope to get a you can say a bounty or a bug from it. Not bounty, a bug from it. So it's not like that way. Now then comes the try to think out of the box. So of course I told if you are seeing 403 errors, try to think how I can bypass it, because of course the company has made some policies. They have the custom policies for that particular domain or anything like that. So you need to think out of the box and try to only test that thing on the target. And with experience, day by day, you will understand the flow easily, and then you can easily get a bounty from every application you're testing. Make a note of all your learning and learn every day. Of course, in bug bounty field, I will say learning is very important. One day, if you don't learn, you are like you can say one step backward from your friends or from the every bug hunter. So as I say, like on Sunday also, I try to learn things. If I'm on train, I'm on like traveling back from my office. So I just use that time to just move on the LinkedIn, Twitter, or Medium blogs and learn things. And learning is a part which you need to do every day, because every day we are seeing new flaws. And after getting that new flaws in Twitter, if anyone is posting, then everyone will be hunting on that. So you need to be fast enough to get things, understand that particular flaw, and then automate it, work on it, and then get a bounty from it. And the last, follow every bug hunter, or you can say pro bug hunter, which we are just saying on the Twitter pro. So pro hunters on LinkedIn, Twitter, and get their latest trending tips, what they are doing, what are their approaches. And it's not bad. Like if you know about like what they are doing, then you can also do that same thing. And and that will also like it will help you to just go for the first bounty. So that's all from my side. So thank you everyone. If you have any doubts regarding this slide, then you can just ask me now, and I will be happy to like answer you.
ओके सर, थैंक यू। सो मेरा नाम अली है, और मैं मेरा आपसे क्वेश्चन ये है बेसिकली कि जब आप हंटिंग करते हैं तो आपकी हंटिंग के दौरान अप्रोच क्या रहती है? मिसाल के तौर पे कुछ कहते हैं कि रिकॉन ना करो, इस पे काफ़ी टाइम ज़ाया, तो कुछ कहते हैं डायरेक्टली एंगेज करो टारगेट को, और कुछ कहते हैं पूरी रिकॉन करो, फिर उसके बाद एवरीथिंग जैसे अभी आपने बताया कि अलग वन बाय वन स्टेप करके ऐसे ऐसे करो, सब डोमेन इनमरेशन, शोडान, गिटहब की रिकॉन, गूगल डॉकिंग एवरीथिंग। तो आपकी बेसिकली अप्रोच क्या होती है? आपने कौन से स्टार्ट करते हैं और उसके बाद जब आप रियल वर्ल्ड में टारगेट को अप्रोच करते हैं, तो उसमें आप स्टार्टिंग क्या करते हैं? आप फ्लो ये आपने ये तो बता दिया कि मैं पहले फ्लो को समझना है, ठीक है, हमने फ्लो को समझ लिया। लेकिन जब हम देखते हैं कि हमने कई ब्लॉग्स पढ़े हैं कि साइन अप की फंक्शनैलिटी में ये इश्यूज पाए जाते हैं, तो क्या आपने वो लिख के रखा होता है कि ये इश्यूज मैंने यहाँ पे चेक करने हैं, या आपके ज़हन में उस वक्त जितने भी होते हैं आप वही चेक करवाते हैं? मिसाल के तौर पे साइन अप में अगर आप वही ईमेल पे दोबारा ईमेल बनाएं, साइन अप करें, तो मे बी अकाउंट टेक ओवर है, या इसके अलावा भी कोई है साइन अप में, तो आपकी अप्रोच इसमें क्या रहती है?
Okay. So like if I need to test any application, so first I will understand like in the whole talk I told, I will understand the application, I will do the mapping part. Now in my case, since I am like doing this pen testing from past 3 years, so I make a personal note for me only. In that notes, everything I need to test is been like I have made a list for out of it. Okay. Now in that, what like if you are making a notes of everything you are learning and doing daily, like in your bug bounty or pen testing, then it will help you like, okay, I found a login page. It's just a simple login page with no like account creation part is given, only a login page is there, or you can say admin panel. So since I have a personal list of things to test, I can start testing. But since you are a beginner, you may be like going on finding things on the Google,